Sofa Squad, you're going to need to buckle up for today's video because we're going to be venturing over to the depths of TikTok world to be talking about someone who I personally am just waiting to make the branch into true crime world, and not for good reasons, okay? And that person is Ashley Trevino. Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. The sofa's not back there, but I'm right here. My name's Paul if you're new to the channel, and if you're not new to the channel, today is still Paul. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Ashley Trevino. She is a personality on TikTok. She is completely viral over there, not for good reasons, but maybe in her mind, it's good reasons. So I talk about her over on TikTok, but I wanted to come just start something over here because it's literally poured over to the YouTube world, and by the time we're done with this video, you're gonna see why. Okay, so let's jump into it. So we've covered some horrible moms lately here at the Sofa Squad, right? We're gonna add another one to the list in today's video. Now, if you've spent any amount of time over on TikTok, you most likely know exactly who I'm talking about. And to anyone else who is meeting her for the first time in this episode, if I can rustle up some change in the sofa cushions, you may be entitled to compensation. Okay. So without further ado, grab your snacks and come on and hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. We're gonna ride these rails to crazy town. So, like I said, we're going to be discussing Ashley Trevino, who collected 1 million followers in a week. She went very viral. Now, the online publication Medium describes her as, I'm going to quote it here, a single mother of 2 daughters, ages 15 and 12, who has zero interest in raising her children and is reliving her adolescence at 36 years old. Now, according to Social Work News magazine, Ash is and I'm going to quote, a self-proclaimed inmate hopper. She burst into the TikTok scene in 2023 and is documenting her life, or was at least at that time, as a prison girlfriend, occasional prison wife here and there, and she rose to fame. Can't roll my eyes hard enough, if you will, by going live on TikTok day and night and day. All the time, okay? Now, Ash has this massive following that quickly morphed into this massive, colossal unfollowing, but she seems to gain it back constantly, right? Now, social media creators, literally across every platform, I'm talking hours and hours of content documenting her absolutely next level ridiculous shenanigans and monstrous brand of motherhood. Now, this has resulted in over a dozen reports to Child Protective Services and, wait for it, a change.org petition calling for her indefinite removal from TikTok. These true crime streets are bustling, and guess what? We're going to hit on a handful of what fellow YouTuber iNabba refers to as, and I'll quote them, 1,000 different terrible reasons for the never-ending nightmare, which contributed to Ash Trevino's notoriety. So let's start on the aspect of Ash Trevino being like a pick-me mom, okay? Now, if you know the type, right? And even if you did not know that they had a name, to clarify, a pick-me mom is slang for essentially like a woman behaving in a contemptible way for male attention, right? And this is essentially what Ashley's brand is. Also, the attention that she is seeking from the men border on, they're very, very young. Okay, very, very young. I do not think she has been caught up with somebody technically legally underage, but we're talking 19, 20, that type thing, okay? So Ash lends herself towards giving vibes of mommy dearest at times, right? She comes off as narcissistic, cruel, neglectful. Social Work News magazine says that, and I'll quote them, her children play background characters for her to argue, ignore, and gaslight. Now, I'm just going to describe a couple of scenarios that have taken place. Remember, she's always on live. She lives on live, okay? So it is documenting the good, the bad, and the ugly. So late one evening, Ash is, hanging out, drinking, whatever she's doing. She's on a live stream. Now, she'll have thousands of people watching her, okay? She's dancing, enjoying herself, and one of her daughters is in the background saying, I just threw up or something. Now, Ashley doesn't break her composure. She just keeps going, and she shouts, to the sick girl, you're lying. Now, Ash continues onto the camera. She just doing her little dancing, doing her little sway, doing all her little stuff for her viewers. You know, sitting there tapping the screen, tapping the screen. One of the things that Ash does, and if you're unfamiliar with TikTok, is you can tap it to do hearts and stuff. So she sits there and does this number. Imagine me staring at the screen and doing this the whole time when I'm talking to you, but also not that engaged with you. I'm just looking at my phone. Yeah, tap, tap, tap. Tap in. Right. So, but she's doing this while daughter's throwing up, all the kind of things. Doesn't matter. The audience members, as you can imagine, will express more concern than she does. She doesn't care, right? Now, there's also a segment where Ash thinks she's being such a good mom to offer her daughter lip filler. I know. Right? Now, many times her daughter will be like, I'm happy with how my lips look. And Ash comes back saying, but they're not that big. This is likely the same daughter that Ash admitted to feeling a huge amount of rage toward while she yanked her hair because Ash felt like her husband loved the child more. Okay, that's what you're dealing with. Now, her children, this is a huge part of the Ash Trevino lore. Her kids share an air mattress. Now, Ash is over here talking about Louis Vuitton bags, Gucci this, you know, YSL bags and all this type of stuff. But the kids sleep on air mattresses. It does not matter how many times people call her out. It has not changed. One of the things that Ashley did, this is like an overview video of some of the just major things because each thing you could do huge deep dives into. But there is an influencer. Her name's Cameo. I don't know if she runs the Bop House or if she's part of it. I feel like she ran it or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. But I do know that what she did is she had Ashley come and the kids come onto her podcast. Now, keep in mind that what the Bop House is, if you're unfamiliar, it's a group of entrepreneurial, let's say, young ladies who make a lot of money on a particular site. I don't even know if you can see it in here, OF, if you know what I'm talking about. And they live in a house, and it's like almost like a reality type show type thing or whatever, right? They do content and whatnot, make tons of money, okay? Ashley brings her daughters there. Okay, now granted, Camille put her up in a very expensive hotel, first class the whole way. But one of the things I kept seeing people commenting was taking your kids to the Bop House before Disney World is wild. And it is, okay? Like, just imagine. She has Ashley come on the podcast and she does not hold back. She calls Ashley out and exposes her the whole time. Well, one of the things that Camille was going to do was buy the girls' beds and send Ashley money. Even once she was doing this, Ashley would skirt around it, wouldn't take the money, wouldn't do this, but Ashley would call her up and be like, hey, I'm going to stay an extra day. You know, can you pay for the hotel? Mind you, this is like, you know, first class that Camille's done for her, right? But she won't circle back around to the bed. She always has an excuse. And at the end of the day, Ashley's walking around with Louis Vuitton bags and her kids are sleeping on an air mattress. You can't make it up. Now, another huge thing that is problematic with Ashley, but that also propelled her into the status is her hopelessly devoted to dangerous detainees. She likes a particular type of prison dude. She has been known to say that, you know, she's into felony charges. It's hot to her. She likes that. Okay, whatever. However, when you have kids involved, it's, you know, probably not a good thing to be exposing to some of the things that she has allegedly exposed them to. Now, one time she said that she had dated 26 inmates and became a prison wife twice and boasted to her audience that that's why they call me the inmate hopper. This is how she got her start. Okay, when she first started coming around, it was this level of delusion that people were like, are you serious? Now, she denies that her daughters accompanied her on prison visitations, but there's allegedly photographic evidence that disputes this claim, okay? So there's an inmate convicted of murder and serving a 45-year sentence, I think, when they visited, okay? And Ash made the daughters, refer to him as dad. Now, in an interview, Ash was confronted with the fact that one of the guys she dated had been charged with SA, and this was her response. Every guy that I've dated has been with that charge. My husband has that charge. Online haters, as she likes to call them, commented things like, as you can imagine, like, I'm super concerned for the kids, for the daughters. You know, they need to be away from her. Her terrible taste in men is going to get them hurt. Now, another huge thing that goes on with Ashley, you know, we talked about like her, you know, male gaze, attention addiction, whatever you want to call it, right? You have to basically keep young male influencers away from Ashley. Another huge thing, big scandals of Ashley is with a younger man. His name is Santos. There's even a song that somebody put out. You want to know how it smells? That's Santos. You know it smells well. If y'all side note, I'm just going to have to admit it. I literally drive Matt crazy by walking around the house and singing that right there. And he already knows, like, he'll be getting up. I'm like doing a comment, like, you want to know how it smells? He's ready to kill me. He has been exposed to more information about Ashley Trevino than anyone should ever be. And you're probably thinking the same thing right now about yourself. I apologize. I told you in the beginning, fill out the form. There's a compensation, a class action suit. We're going to get paid, okay? Santos is 19 years old. He's a huge TikToker, right? Now, allegedly, like, what went down is Santos, and again, this is kind of out of my lane here, but I think Santos is like one of those people that, like, younger girls would probably have a crush on. And so Ashley found out about him through her daughters, and then Ashley's bringing him to the house and, like, scooching the daughters away, okay? That's what we're dealing with here. Now, Ashley will claim, and even just I was looking at the other day, one of her TikToks, where she was just like, no, I didn't know Santos was 19. I thought he was 24, but she gets mixed up in the way she's saying it. She'll claim that she saw, like, his military ID or something like that. I don't know what it was. And she's like, I thought it said 20 or 2000, or I forget what she said, how she did it, but you can tell she's getting caught up with the numbers. Regardless, the hours of content of her behavior towards him is so concerning, because remember, this is somebody who could be his mother, okay? And what's concerning about it, because I'm somebody like this, where I'm like, look, whoever you fall in love with, as long as it's people are of legal consenting age, but I'm sorry, whether it's reverse the roles of man, woman, man, and woman, or whatever, when you're talking about somebody 19 versus 36, no, okay? And what's also concerning is you can tell a lot of the times when she's in these situations, like, Santos is playing up to it. I mean, to the point that people will continually ask him, do you know how it smells? Kind of a thing, like, what's up? Did you really hook up? He'll deny it. It's very topsy-turvy as to what happened. I mean, he has his own problematic stuff going on too. But nonetheless, seeing a mother of two daughters, and again, I don't care if it was a father or mother, whatever, right? It's completely inappropriate behavior. And to be gloating and putting it, flaunting it out there on social media is extremely concerning. She just went to, I think she's in Atlanta, and I'm not sure the exact game show. I'm just kind of going off, script here. It's one of those game shows like Pop the Balloon and those type things. If you know what I'm talking about, you can already tell I spent too much time on TikTok. So it's one of those where somebody will come out and you, like, go to the left or go to the right, I'll keep you. And, like, literally they're bringing out 20-year-olds. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This is so inappropriate. Imagine if this was an almost 40-year-old guy and you're bringing out 19-year-old girls to see if he wants to keep them or toss them to the side. Literally, it's gross, okay? There's no need for it. So, that being said, that's my little thing there. Let's keep going. Now, overall, Ashley just kind of comes across as a cringe binge watch, as a rage bait, awful personality that people just can't look away from. For me and my background in, obviously, true crime, what we do here, this kind of scenario, because of the kids being involved, to me, it's very much giving Stephen Stearns, Jen Soto, like that kind of a thing, right? Where I'm just like, okay, there's two teenage girls involved in this, like, this is not good, okay? Like, this is concerning. Now, you'll often hear Ashley talking about, and even currently, I believe she's left the girls with her parents for a month while she goes and does whatever. And she's like, I left them money. And honestly, I mean, I hope they're in better hands of the parents, because just the things that Ashley seems to have going on does not seem to be an appropriate thing to have these young kids around, right? Also, kids are going to be enamored by TikTok stardom and fame, and it seems like this is a personality type that uses that for manipulative reasons. And you just, again, it doesn't seem appropriate, right? So anyways, let's keep going. Now, the first paragraph of the most recent Change.com petition, again, it's a most recent, right? It not only speaks to her diabolical personality traits, but it also perfectly summarizes one of her most heinous stunts. Now, it says here, this is a personal plea that stems from events occurring on the night of February 26, 2025, involving Ashley Trevino, a TikTok user who has overstepped boundaries and utilized the platform in the most reprehensible way. On this night, Trevino knowingly got into contact with the daughter of a murder victim, not only reopening old wounds, but pouring salt on them with her actions. She boldly stated that the deceased deserved to die and even made multiple racist remarks, attributing responsibility for the tragedy of 9/11 to him as well. Now, there's also another recent incident that she did, and again, this is what I'm talking about of being on the edge of people's lives getting messed up, okay? So she and this whole group of people caused all this drama in San Antonio, okay? So witnesses spotted Trevino, and again, she's known for all this, controversial stuff she does. So when she goes out, she'll hire security guards. Can't roll my eyes hard enough. I think she does it because she's afraid people are going to beat her up. So they're at the North Star Mall, and they're in downtown San Antonio, and this guy named D. Kane is there. His real name's like Josiah Kane de la Fuente. Well, he was arrested after an incident at this restaurant. Now, according to the San Antonio Police Department, other individuals who were seen with her were also arrested. Now, Ashley said that she was going to pay to bond them out of jail, but here's the thing with that. And again, there's many different versions to this because remember, she stays live constantly. There's like a group of people, they went to a restaurant, there was some drama, so they went somewhere else. Someone saw them, they were coming after them, they did this, cops are involved. Someone in the group has a gun on them. Apparently they had charges. This is not good. Ashley's like, I'm going to bond you out. I'm going to do this. Well, it's something like Ashley bonded certain people out, and I can't remember if she actually bonded them out or not, but there was discrepancies with who she bonded out, and it was like that some of the females that were involved she did not do anything for. So there's absolutely, and again, these are kids, okay? Now again, remember I'm 47, so number one, I should not know this much information about this whole scenario, but here we are. But when I say kids, like I'm not trying to insult anybody, but like literally people under 30, like a 25-year-old's a kid to me. Now I know legally they're not, right? But so when I say kids, I mean, these are like young people, like late, early 20s, that kind of a thing. This is who she rolls with. She hangs out with very young people, and in fact, you know what people say, that movie Ma, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, 100% that's those vibes. 100%. So for me, over in the true crime world, these are the things I'm talking about where I'm like, oh, it's a matter of time. Something's bad is going to happen, either to her daughters or someone associated with. Not that bad things haven't already happened, but it's, fearful of getting worse. Now, another thing to keep in mind with people like Ashley and these major TikTok rage bait personalities is one thing they do is they do the live chats, right? Now, Ashley was very known for doing battles. So Ashley, at one time, semi-recently, would go battling a lot with a woman named Heffa. I don't even want to say they were friends. Maybe they thought they were, but they had like an agreement where they would battle and it would bring in money and all this type of stuff. They, of course, eventually have a falling out and they don't talk anymore, and Heffa's like talking about exposing her. Well, Ashley had gone up to visit with Heffa and brought the girls, and you could tell that Heffa really went out of her way to make the girls feel seen and included and treating them and like, let's take them shopping and let's make it about them kind of a vibe, right? As opposed to what it normally is. Now, another thing too that Ashley seems to do, and like I mentioned earlier with the bodyguard thing, is she'll hire security, which are usually young men who are talking about being strapped and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And to me, what it honestly seems like, number one, it seems like cosplay, like she wants to be seen and feel important. And she was at Rodeo Drive recently. It was so funny because she went out to California, she's getting her hair done, and you could tell that she didn't know what Rodeo Drive was until like her hairdresser told her or whatever. So you already know she wants to go do this, right? So she hires security, and the dude wears a secured, like a shirt that says security. And as she's walking, she'll like make sure that her like Louis Vuitton bag is like seen in front of her and whatnot. Well, the comment section, people were like, girl, people are gonna think that you were shoplifting and you're being escorted out of there. Like, right? They're like, literally a security guard for Rodeo Drive is like, get out, okay? Here's the other thing too with Ashley trying to flex on this type of stuff. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but if you were to spot Ashley with a Louis Vuitton bag, which by the way, she did this whole thing where she bought this Louis Vuitton. I can't remember the type bag it was, but she got the biggest version of it. And Ash is like a tiny person. Y'all, it looked like, literally everybody was like, that's carry-on luggage. But she wants to be seen with this stuff. Now, to finish my thought before, Ash is the type of person, if you didn't know who she was, you saw her, you would just assume the stuff she has is fake, right? She does not look classy. I know to her, she thinks she does, but she does not have the vibes of this is real Louis, this is real YSL. She's been caught even playing stuff off of like buying fake stuff, trying to pass it off as real. Now again, I don't care about that world. If you subscribe to that, whatever, cool, right? But it's the fact that she's still trying so hard to do that while she's has her kids sleeping on a beanbag, right? Kind of a thing. It's like very Ruby Frankie. So that is the Ashley Trevino starter kit right there, okay? I wanted to do an overview over here because like I said, I follow her, well, not follow her, but like, I don't even know to say follow her. I report on her, if you will, or whatever on TikTok from time to time. And so the comment section, y'all, oh my gosh, the comment sections are just so funny with people's opinions on her. And the tragedy of it is at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is something really, really bad is going to happen. And I fear that something horrible will happen to her daughters, right? So I hope that they have people in their lives that can, you know, show them love and safety, right? So that being said, if you want to hear more TikTok drama from me, just let me know because I know tons of it and it's so much fun. It's such a pastime, right? So let me know down in the comment section and while you're down in the comment section, if you could drop some sofas off for Rosco and Spirit, Bo and Lou, the rest of the sofa squad. We need someplace to get comfy with our little Starbucks and our little Louis while we talk about Ashley Trevino, okay? And until we all get our Louis Vuittons and our YSLs and head on down to the comment section, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Rosco on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.